70% the dealer. You come with a pro forma invoice of 30% that you have paid, then we give you the 70% through the dealer, you get the equipment, then you will start repaying. So that is for the loans, and in addition to the loans, we do a lot in terms of training, mentorship, and market linkages. And I believe that through this engagement, we will be able to get some youth who will benefit from Youth Fund. I've come with the county officer for Kisumu. Leonard Ochieng, you can stand up. That's Leonard Ochieng, the county officer for Kisumu. If you need his assistant, the Kisumu office is at Huduma Center, Kisumu. And for the other offices in Nyanza, most of them we are stationed at the county commissioner's office. So you can go there, you can get assisted. And I want to encourage you, please take advantage of these affirmative action funds that the government is offering. All of them, they are the best in the market compared to the fintech companies and the banks that are giving. We have Hustler Fund, we have Uwezo Fund, we have NGAF. You told me to talk about financial inclusion. Yes, so we have all these affirmative action funds, and you can still get more information online. There are so many opportunities for you to start a business so that you are able to be empowered to create a job for yourself and even employ other people. Sawa sawa.
Thank you. I think she's done so well. She's done well. She's reminded us of that we've got the 30% AGPO. That is a program that we should also be bringing you actually up to speed on that. She's also gone further and even done the work of BRS, the Business Registration Service. Thank you so much for doing that. You are fluent in the language called Comrades. You are very fluent in that. Quickly, I'd love Mr. Samson to just tell us about what your State Department does. Actually, the achievements, not what you do. He's already spoken about it, because a lot of times we have got these meetings and people talk about what they do. They don't talk about achievements. I'd really love, these comrades would love to hear what you guys have done and the opportunities that emanate from what you have done. In 3 minutes, then I would love Professor Machuki to come back and talk about the Social Health Authority, the Social Health Insurance Fund, because that's another place where politicians have decided to just go with sloganeering and cheap lines. You pick two things and run with it. So, Samson, please.
Thank you. Comrades, power. I want to say that as a State Department for Blue Economy and Fisheries, one thing that we have done is to bring on board the youths in the blue economy space. One is that through the government of Kenya and working closely with the TVETs, an example is Ramogi Institute of Advanced Technology. We have our youth going to Israel to get more advanced skills in fish farming and aquaculture development. This is a program that is initiated to beef up the better economic model. When this particular young tax comes back home, then they are supported with startups, and this one has made them to change. I have an example, one by the name Kennedy, who recently came from Israel and is doing serious business in cage farming in Suba South. Secondly, as a State Department, we are trying to have an enabling environment for blue economy growth. As the regional coordinator for blue economy, I want to proudly say that we are hosting Kenya Bus Services under Globology, where they are recruiting young marine engineers who are doing boat building, providing transport solution in Lake Victoria. And a number of you have boarded water buses in Lake Victoria. This one is an initiative of the Kenyan government, and we are fully supporting this. Recently, I was talking with the managing director of water bus services under Globology. They are lacking marine engineers. And you find that under the blue economy strategy, we are working closely with universities and TVET institutions so that we come up with high skills in marine engineering. So this is an area which is underutilized, and we want to beef up on this. Secondly, as a government, to expand the blue economy space, Kenyan government has signed memorandum of understanding with many coastal states under what we call Port State Measures Agreement. Recently, the Kenyan government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Canadian government. I want to tell you that under the same, we are enjoying what we call the Women in Blue Economy Enterprise Challenge Fund. Through this kind of initiative, we have young organizations. We have Rio Fish Farm and Lakers who have benefited from 56 million Kenya shillings, which was awarded to them. And I think these particular checks were given to them by His Excellency the government, the President of the Republic of Kenya. If you go to where these particular organizations are doing their business, one is in Suba South, in a place known as Nyandiwa. You will find what young people are doing in terms of the blue economy skills they have got. We are continuing to do training. Currently, we have trained 875 young youths as seafarers. And who are seafarers? You find before, we have those people who are doing fishing in the EEZ, in the Indian Ocean. They were putting up flags from other countries. Proudly, Kenya is currently putting a flag in the EEZ. And we have insisted as a government that the people who are working on board these particular vessels are Kenyans and the youth. So we are currently going on to bring on board more youths from universities, from colleges, with skills in blue economy, so that we continue with them as seafarers. Before, we did not have Kenyan seafarers. They were coming from outside Kenya. We have signed memorandum of understanding with Australia, and I'm proudly saying that our minister for mining, blue economy, and maritime affairs, His Excellency Hassan Joe, and our principal secretary, Madam Betsy Njagi, next week are going to Australia over the same, so that we can have the young youths in blue economy initiative brought on board inside, so that what they learn here is also taken there, and what they learn from there is also brought back to our country. So these are the grounds in which we are going to support the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, so that we continue building up and opening up our blue space. I deliberately came with a very young officer who was just employed recently, last year. Petronella, just stand up. This young officer is a dedicated officer in Nyanza and Western Kenya region on blue space. Any person who wants to have ideas on blue economy initiative is just a phone call through. Through her efforts, we documented young women and young men in blue economy. And from that document, in fact, Rio Fish Farm and Lakers benefited from the 56 million each, which was given by the government of Canada. So these are some of the few things that the Kenyan government is doing under the basic, the better transformation agenda. Recently, we saw the building of landing sites which are modernized. These modernized landing sites, one is in Mulukoba, supporting the youths in fishing. Because as one of my colleagues said, that post-harvest losses is a major threat to our fishing industry and the blue economy space. If you go to Mulukoba today, you will find those particular youths producing ice and selling this ice to women entrepreneurs. That is just one of the ways in which they are generating their income. The government has supported that at a cost of 140 million. You come to Luanda Kotieno, the same. You come to Sori in Migori, we have built that. A total cost of around 400 million, doing the same thing. And we have marked also to do additional 9 at a cost of 1.5 billion. And this is money which is ready. Thank you. And I think if I will have time, I will continue to say more.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, to end this session, not that you not have a chance to talk, whatever the other aspects you actually had to talk about, you bring them when you are responding to questions. I'd love Professor Machuki to talk about the social health, the sheep and the sha. You hear a lot of she, sha, and then we are in Nyanza, so she and sha, so sheep and sha, okay.
Okay, thank you very much, moderator, for this opportunity. One of the things that I will want to highlight as I delve into universal health coverage is the ideology and the rationale behind the bottom-up economic transformative agenda. The principles of better are in priority form. One is lowering the cost of living and ensuring inclusive growth. But in between ensuring inclusive growth and lowering the cost of living, therein is another three priorities on ending unemployment, that is now employment creation, enhancing the revenue base, dealing with foreign exchange imbalance, and bringing on board mechanisms to deal with food security, that is ending hunger. When you look at those priorities, it was thought that we need to deal with these issues very urgently. And the question was, what kind of areas that will bring out very quick turnaround? During the economic forums, it was very clear that there are sectors where interventions will bring very quick turnaround. And those are the sectors that form the pillars of the plan. And one of the pillars of the plan is on agricultural transformation. And you've heard there are several value chains in there. The second one is micro, small, and medium enterprises. From the discussions here, I wanted to interject and indicate to youth that an opportunity that arises and that is there given to you is one, over and above having an idea, it is important to operationalize this idea through a business plan. And I want to be very clear that having money doesn't buy you thinking. Having money doesn't buy you brains. It is about looking at the problems in society, identifying opportunities, and converting these opportunities into ideas that you package into a business plan, a very simple one, that you can know how much resources you need and how do you utilize these resources to operationalize this idea as a micro enterprise, as a small enterprise, growing into a medium and large enterprise. So these catalytic funds that have been provided by government, moving you away from predatory funding, is to empower young people who have ideas. Ideas are most important than their finances. You can have finances, but if there is no idea to operationalize, deal with a problem, and create more jobs, then funding only cannot solve a problem. But I'm happy that we are dealing with a critical mass of ideas here, because we are university students where brains are at action. And that is where the entire value chain from what has been said in the blue economy, it's actually on medium, micro, small, and medium enterprises. The third pillar in the plan is digital superhighway and creative economy. All of us have an appreciation that we are moving from the old manual and archaic jobs. So we have internet that has revolutionized the way we work. And the government has created opportunity by establishing digital hubs in almost every constituency in Kenya. And that is where online jobs are, and the artificial intelligence that our colleague was talking about, and how you can turn several of these issues into opportunities are in digital space. The fourth pillar in the plan is affordable housing. My colleague here has talked about, and the other one is universal health coverage. Now, in universal health coverage, it is very clear that a healthy nation will be an economically and socially empowered nation. That is one. Two, combine health and education, then you will have a suburb a society. So an educated society, a healthy society, will realize the socio-economic priorities, and they will participate. As young people, the issue of health, and as a former lecturer in the university here and a director, many of the students will come to our university clinic, and we refer them to Jaramogi Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital. On arrival, they will say that the services there do not match the kind of expectation. But then, how did the government conceptualize universal health coverage? As a universal thinker, as a universal person in a university, in a college, universal health coverage means access to quality and affordable health care provision. That is what it means. So, in analysis over time, there has been problems and challenges on various areas on healthcare system in Kenya. And I'm saying this from an understanding of all of us that healthcare is devolved. Allow me then to take you through what the universal health coverage is all about. Then I will explain where SHA, SHE, and all these others come in. The key principles that guided the thinking behind universal health coverage, and as a bottom-up orientation, and in terms of solidarity and comradeship, healthcare, we want to have access to efficient healthcare, and we want to have healthcare system that is accountable, but also that respects human rights. Those are the principles around universal health coverage. Now, what were the issues that we were dealing with when we were analyzing the healthcare system in Kenya? One, financing. When you look at financing at both the primary healthcare provision, there is a gap. Primary healthcare is supposed to be the government funding that particular level of offer. And what do we mean by primary healthcare? Primary healthcare is what is offered at level 1. That is the dispensaries at the very local level. But when you go to those dispensaries, you find the infrastructure is dilapidated, the facilities are not able to anchor the quality of care that is expected. And that is why the government then, through universal health coverage, passed a law, because we have 4 laws that have been passed to anchor universal health coverage. It passed the first law called Primary Health Care Act. And what does it do? Let me take you through what that law allows government to do. And it is all about ensuring that at the level of health facilities that are level 1, the Primary Health Care Act provides a framework for access to quality health care at the very lower levels, and that is where you have the primary care networks that have been created, and recently government launched what we call voluntary or community health promoters. These are people who go through our households and take note of our health situation at household level, and then they refer. That is fully government funded between level 1 and level 3. You will understand that county governments are also involved, so there is working with the national government and the county levels. So dealing with human resource at that level, dealing with facilities at that level, then you can assure quality health care access. And that is what the first act, that is the Primary Health Care Act, intended to deal with. The second legislation is what is called the Social Health Insurance Act. And this is where the SHE comes in. Now, all of us know that we have been having a challenge of insurance with regard to the cover that is being offered by the now defunct National Health Insurance Fund. Within that whole architect were issues with governance, were issues with claims management. And it is this particular act that has now created the Social Health Authority to replace the National Health Insurance Fund. And in the Social Health Authority, you have a number of funds in there. One of the funds in there is the Primary Health Care Fund. The Primary Health Care Fund is provided and fully funded by government, and that takes care of level 1, level 2, and level 3. Now, there is the Social Health Insurance Fund. Now, I hope now you understand where SHIV comes in. Social Health Authority is the one that is managing these 3 funds. The first fund is the Primary Health Care Fund. And that fund is from the government taxes that they collect, the government collects taxes, and it funds all these services at level 1, level 2, and level 3. Now, when you are referred from level 3 to level 4, SHIV sets in, and this is contributory now. This is what has been contributed to National Health Insurance Fund, NHIF. Now, it is replaced by Social Health Insurance Fund, called SHIF. How has it been structured? Previously, it is only through formal, those who are in formal employment that contribute to NHIF. But SHIF comes in to look at those both in the formal economy and those in the informal economy. And those in the informal economy who now need to contribute 2.75 of their income, that income is determined by the means testing instrument through household economic ability. And household economic ability, as I said earlier, is available in the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, and that is where those are provided. There are those who do not have anything at all, and they are called indigents. The indigents, government pays for them. The rest then contribute 2.75% of their gross income, and that is contributory, and it will now levelize, and it will have will bring about equity, and it will have a broader pool from where this is going to come from. Now, there is the third fund called the Emergency Critical Care Fund. And this is where for the critical illnesses. And as you are referred, for those who have critical illnesses to level 6, government funds that fully. So I needed to explain that we are now moving from individual contributors to household contribution. And I think this needs to be very clear. It is household. As you register, and as households register, it is going to be, instead of you who is on employment, and I am here as your younger sibling, and there is a parent, now it is going to be household-based. When it is household-based, it therefore means that when you register, you bring on board your dependents into your contribution, and all of them will get access when they visit a health facility. For the other fund, it is government, and it is accessible when you graduate to that level when you have critical illness. Now, the other act is now Digital Health Act. We realized that in NHIF, claims are manufactured when you have human beings in the system. So we completely had to do away with the human intervention so that we digitize claims processing, claims management, and claims approval and all that. In there is the risk management framework. In there is the governance issue that we needed to deal with. And as I said earlier, when a moderator, I know you are looking at me, this is very important because it is very motive, right? It is very motive. As Kenyans register and get on board to consume services from SHA, it should be very important, as I said earlier, that we do not want as many Kenyans who have been suffering from lack of NHIF to provide the kind of funding to take care of their cases when there is contribution. Now, this one is dealing with those cases of corruption and so forth, and therefore Digital Health Act. The last one, so that I finish, you find that facilities at lower levels, at county levels, will collect user fee. And this user fee is redirected to do the gates, to do the cabro roads and so forth, and they don't improve the facilities themselves. So the Facilities Improvement Financing Act makes sure that user funds that are collected are ring-fenced for the improvement of the facilities themselves. That way, you are assured of quality, you are assured of accessible, you are assured of affordable healthcare provision. So, in a nutshell, SHIF is contributory, and it has a broad base, and it is by household. And it is for those who are in the informal sector, through means testing instrument and the packages that are on offer, then you are able to have them contribute, but also have them to access. So that is where SHIF comes in, and it will standardize for everyone. It is this way. If you are going to a facility in KNH, for example, the principal secretary will access the same services as you, who is at the bottom of the pyramid. That is what is called universal health coverage. I think I want to stop there for purposes of time, because it is a very emotive and very extensive talk. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have allowed him to actually take you through, so that if your local politician who has not read this comes into a funeral and then he tries to trash that easily, unamwambia unajua. Sio umeenda shule. Unajua hizi vitu tunakaa chini. It has taken a professor kujaribu kureduce hivyo, na bado kumbuka hatujamaliza. Alafu kuna mkora huko kwa kijiji anakuja anakuambia hii kitu ni mbaya, alafu mnasema semeni mbaya. That's not how policy conversations are supposed to be had. Comrades power. Najua energy imerudi chini kidogo, so nitasema comrades transact. Hatuko mbali sana. So as in tuko na matumaini. Hello. Tuko sawa? So ningependa tuulize maswali, lakini kwa sababu ya muda ningependa huku nipate maswali matatu. Meanwhile you get the mic kutoka hapo kwingine. Microphone kidogo, tuko na challenge. Hapa tutapata maswali matatu for a start. Hapa matatu na pale matatu, si ndio? And then nitakuja nichukue mengine. This is the rule. Nataka tusikize. Give me your silence. Nataka tusikize. Make one question alone. Usiulize maswali mawili tafadhali, because kuna watu wengine, si ndio? I said even if you paid fees and you don't pay attention, you don't pass your exams. So please pay attention so that then I don't cut you off air. Sawa. Ask one question, make it brief. If you're making a comment, make it in 2 minutes maximum. Make it brief and sweet. Sawa. Let it be in line with what we are discussing. I need to repeat, let it be in line with what we are discussing or issues that pertain comrades. So I'm saying that as I wait for microphones to go around. Ushers, where do I begin? And as we do that, I just need to make very brief introductions, not just kujua tu kuwa kuna niliona chairman wa Kisumu hapa, the venerable Patrick Mbuta ama alienda. Nimeona hapa coordinator wa South Nyanza, Kennedy Odiek, mheshimiwa. Alafu iko watu wa Nyamira na Kisii hapa. Unajua hapo lazima nikuweke hapo kwa sababu treasurer anatoka huko. Otherwise tunaweza kosa kwenda home. So, treasurer, mheshimiwa Nyakundi, just say hi. Tuko na yeye hapa. They will actually have a time to actually speak to us. So, let's go.
Thank you for that opportunity.
Your name, the institution, and your question.
Okay, my name is Dan Siwa from Maseno University, from Chia County. So, we are here discussing about issues that affect comrades. And we have one thing that affects comrades, and it's a thorn in the flesh. And it's about comrades' power and comrades' leadership in our various institutions. So, for a very long time, in the recent past, comrades' power is diminishing. The reason being is because the election process or the election system has been changed from a universal suffrage system to delegate system. And this one has cost us because it leads to election of soy boys and mama's boys that can't represent comrades' affairs with vigor and the courage that it takes. So, being that we are the ruling party, UDA is the ruling party, and we are part of that party, our humble request is to our MPs that the election system in our various institutions should be reviewed so that comrades will have leaders that will be able to represent them in various forums. For instance, in our previous engagement with His Excellency, Mr. President, during the NFM, we had various leaders representing us there at the State House. So we have some our leaders who could not even address the issues pertaining to the NFM. So we would like that the election system should be reviewed and be restored back to the universal suffrage so that we have strong leaders. Thank you.
Fair enough. I think that SG and the Honorable Nyakundi will take that particular question because it's about legislation and a little bit of politics. Yeah.
Comrades power. So my name is Tolo Jeff. I'm a fourth year student studying.
Jeff, just before you proceed, unajua umesema comrade power iko chini sana.
Comrades power. Comrades power. Kwa sawa sasa.
Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Tolo Jeff. I am a fourth-year student pursuing political science at Maseno University. And just want to direct my question directly to the issue about the new funding model. I think, in my own understanding, there have been a lot of controversies and a lot of discussions going around the whole thing. And I'd really like to thank the ministry for constituting the work stream that also includes students to make recommendations and revisions concerning the same. But now the biggest problem that we are having there is that I think the assumption that the government uses here, even before I come to that, we are in a capitalist society, as one of the moderators has just said. And given that we are in a capitalist society, we know very well that in a capitalist society, we have also appreciated our place as a developing country. So, and I think the assumption that is being brought by the government is that everyone is rich until proven poor. But yet the reality is that everyone is poor until proven rich. Comrades, power. Now, my point is this, concerning the new funding model, we're talking about the bottom-up economic transformation agenda in an era where public participation is very important. And to that extent, the problem that I think this current regime is that you develop ideas first and then struggle to explain it to Kenyans later. I think it should be that ideas should be they should be originating from Kenyans before now it goes to the government. And that is the reason as to why most of us are not even understanding the Adani takeover of the JKIA terminals. Most of us are not understanding how the SHIF is operating. Most of us are not understanding most of us are not understanding the housing policy. And it all begins with policy formulation. I'm a policy analyst, and that's why I'm speaking from a point of knowledge. Because you look at the housing policy, for example, what you have given us here is the process of how good it is, pay the 1.5%, sijui nini story mingi. But again, remember, we are talking to comrades, people who are living in hostels here. Some of them are suffering, they cannot even pay the rents because help, haija reflect wa portal. So I think the question should be, and the conversation should be, let us talk and let us reflect to things that really touch on the people that we are having here. Let us have live audiences and let us have live interactions. People power, people power. Comrades, viva!
Viva! Thank you very much. Clap for Jeff. I'd love to go back to the other end, kindly. Extreme on the other side. We only have got one mic. We will do that, don't worry, we will talk. The one thing we are not afraid of is actually to have these conversations. We know that UDA, for example, even as the mic moves, had 47 county fora to come up with a bottom-up economic plan.
Comrade power!
We are hearing.
Oh, you are hearing?
Yeah.
Yes, comrade power! Comrade power! Madam Ria! Yes, my name is Riga Nojuan. Oh, you only handsome boy. I have a question. I'm from Maseno University, Matadia, pursuing special needs, and I'm the one in charge of persons with disability in Maseno University. And when I'm here, I want to represent my people, and I have a question concerning the PWDs. First of all, I just want to ask, how is the government ensuring that the PWDs doesn't differ the way I've seen some of them differing? What are some of the things that you put in place to ensure that they land smoothly? Another concern, why is it that I want to know, because in the national government, the persons representing the persons with disability, you find that sometimes they are not disabled. So, I wish that the persons representing these people, they should be also able differently. And another one, I wish that we could have a sign language interpreter to interpret, because maybe you never know someone is having a hearing impairment. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very valid concerns. The other guy there at the extreme, here. That guy there. Okay. Please stand up quickly.
Comrades power. Hello everyone. My name is Brian Haemba. I have a question for the panelists and our guests. Karibuni sana. Welcome to Kisumu. This is the home of we like championing reforms, and my question is this. First, before I submit my question, I have 3 submissions. First is an acknowledgement, and then a question, and then a recommendation. First, I would like to acknowledge His Excellency President Ruto on his achievement on the 2024 presidential green industrialization investment statements of the year. And that gives me a question. The president is pushing something wonderful, yeah, out there in the world. But we are here today and we've not heard about carbon credits. We've not heard on the new the climate financing model he's proposing. We are not aware about it. We would like to get more clarity on that as well, at least. And then the kudos for you guys. These public participation is a good thing. This is something that all Kenyans love. The participatory democracy. This is what we want in matters of pushing policy. So my proposal is this, yeah. We have higher learning institutions represented here, and there are issues that doesn't need investment from private investors or just ordinary citizens. It needs a direction from the government, like things like funding on research and development, things how can we facilitate higher learning institutions to boost that, and then on the startup ecosystem as well, we have a cap on the amount of money we can receive from foreign investors. It's I think $1 million if you guys can verify. But does that limit in terms of innovation, what we can attract in terms of innovation? Like when you see other universities like MIT, they do a lot of funding on their research, they do a lot of exchange programs. How can you also push on this thing?
Thank you.
And then lastly, on the recommendation, we have the African Free Continental Trade Agreement. And how do we also, when you're talking about like accessing other foreign markets, these are the free areas for trading and all that. We have a backlog also on the importation and policies and insurance. How do you make that so that we remove barriers for trade and all that, so that we can empower young people in terms of jobs and also skill development? Thank you.
Thank you very much. A comrade shall be fair so that we allow others to also talk. Sawa sawa. Comrades power. Aya, nataka huku nyuma. Kindly. Can I get that guy talking? Please stand up. Get him a mic, please. This guy here. Here. For ushers, please look at me when I'm giving direction so that it's much easier. Kindly. We can't hear you. Yeah, it's been so much of men. I need ladies. God bless you. Meanwhile, as they fix that, just wait, I'll be back to you. As they fix that, let me get a lady here.
Comrades power. Comrades, yeah. Thank you for this opportunity to represent my Gen Z ladies. Oh, okay. Gen Z ladies and comrades in general. I had my senior there talking about housing levy. I had a question about it. You said that this thing will bring permanent jobs. And so I have a question. How is it bringing a permanent job and this is just building what? A structure, a house. And again, you said that, let's say, for example, in Kisumu, we will be having 6,000 houses. How many Gen Zs are here? Now, how are you quarter? How will this 6,000 housing help the millions of Gen Zs, let's say in Kisumu. And this permanent job, let's say someone is doing social work. How will this affect the social worker positively in permanent? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm looking for another lady. Another lady. A lady. You are not. Omera Bwana, you're not a lady.
Comrades power. Comrades power. Okay, to the moderators, the comment I want to make about here is, you people are talking about the project. You people, the fish, I don't know, it was about the fish what. You are trying to tell us how it works. You are not telling us how we should vendor onto it. On the housing levy, you are saying that it will help our comrade. How? We are living in hostels, others are renting outside. How will you help us get into the housing levy, and how will you identify we are comrades? Okay, secondly, on the housing levy still, the project in the government is different with the project on the ground. The project in the government, you are saying you are building houses to help people. But when you come outside, you find that the project is initiated and it's also being paid for. Why?
Okay, thank you. Any other lady so that we balance out? Okay, I've seen one. Tunakuja. Comrades power. Tumpatie space tafadhali aongee.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am waiting for and secretary student from Maseno. I'm pursuing international relations and diplomacy. My question is this: as a beneficiary of the new funding model, and it has been vividly described in our course of well, but why do you negate the fact of the amount of student loans that have been come out of the university? Once I complete my degree, once I start working, the amount of money that is going to be deducted in my pay slip, why is it that in the old funding model, the amount of student loan that the Comrades used to come out of school with was not that much? But currently I will have to pay a lot, yet even the services in the university are not up to standard that as compared to the amount of money that is being deducted in my school system.
Thank you very much. Kindly get me that microphone. I'd love those questions to be responded to and then run one more round.
Thank you. Comrades power. Comrades power. Comrades Ruto. Comrades Ruto. Comrades Ruto. Comrades Transact. Comrades Transact. Thank you so much. My name is Douglas Nyakundi, Member of Parliament for Kisumu South and North, and I'm also the President of the Union. There's someone by the name of Dan, I think so, who asked on the review on the elections for universities. He wants the university to go for the electoral system than the delegate system.
I want to fully agree with him that if other elections go for the electoral system, even the universities, I want to support them that the university should also go for the electoral system so that the students can choose the leaders that they want. For the electoral system, it has a lot of manipulation in it, but the electoral system, the students will be able to choose the leaders that they want. So I will take it up from there, and very soon I'll bring it in Parliament, and wherever you are, make sure you support me. Number two, it goes to Chef. Jeff, who's a university who's studying policy and stuff. I want to agree with you that as a government, the UDA government, led by President William Ruto, we agree that we brought a lot of changes and a lot of policies that is to the benefit of the people of Kenya and to the benefit of Kenyans. And I want to agree that the change of policies has not been so smooth, more especially because we came up with the housing levy, we came up with the university funding model, we came up with she and shiv. We've come up with a lot of things. I want to agree with you, and I want to agree with the comrades today so much, and I want to appreciate you, because when we had the challenge with the university funding model, you accepted to sit down and talk about it, and now the president listened to you, and you created a team that is going to look on the university funding model. And I believe this is to the benefit of the university students, and I believe that with you sitting down together with government, we are able to look onto this matter and make sure that the students are able to get the money that is required for their studies in school. So I want to agree with you that we came up with a lot of policies which are good, but what we did not do, we did not have proper and good communication so that we're able to carry the citizens along with us. But we've gone back and agreed that we are going to do such kind of public participation so that we are able to move together as a nation. Lastly, I want to tell all the comrades that we as the UDA party, we are going to do these forums. We started doing these forums because we wanted to make sure that leadership and governance is implemented from the university level. People like Hassan Omar, who is here, he was a Secretary General. He was a student leader like you people. The chairperson of the UDA party